Hi everyone. I came across this video. Again, this is LFR Family. The guy's name is Van. I love him. He has a brain in his head, unlike a lot of people in this sector. And no, that's just not one kind of people in this sector, it's all. Or at least the ones who are the race baiters, the racists. Most of you need to be re educated, okay? Because I've been saying something for a while, and most people in this sector don't care. That the first person to ever own slaves in America was a black guy, and he went to court in order to do it. Nobody looked it up. This girl did. And guess what she found out? Not only did that black guy go to court in order to own a slave, you see, they had indentured servants, which she explains it in here. You're a servant until your debt is paid off, then you're free to go. Dun 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 dun. This black guy not only went to court to own a slave, but he wanted to own his slaves for life. And he owned black people and white people, which means here in America, actual slavery started at the same time for both blacks and whites. Now, to the black people in this sector of you too, and it's most, not all, I'm going to act like yous do. I want my reparations. Give me your money because you own me, because a black guy way back then had the rules changed so he could own slaves for life. You gonna give me my reparations? No? Well, then why the fuck should any of you get any? None of you care. You only want what you think you're owed, and you're not owed. Most of you are blood sucking leeches. Why don't you go dig up your ancestors and gnaw on their bones? Which is basically what you're doing, demanding reparations. They went through the hell, not you. Now, what are you going to do? Call this girl a coon, a sellout? What are you going to call her? Because she was actually smart enough to look up shit you motherfuckers wouldn't? Huh? A ton of you will put up things about black history that whites did to blacks. How about what blacks did to blacks or what blacks did to whites? No, but you jealous motherfuckers just want to go after the weakest, which is the white Joe Schmoes, because you're a bunch of fucking cowards. You're not going after the elites. Let's watch.
You guys, on my last video, many people commented that the very first legal slave owner in America was a black person. And I was like, I have seen this comment enough that I will look it up myself. I'm sure that this is completely untrue.
Because she was told all the propaganda, white man bad. Maybe it's not the white man who's been bad.
But let's see where they're getting this from, where they can feel like they can say such a thing. You guys, I have breaking news from the year 1621. I feel like an idiot. If you already knew this, leave me alone. I'm doing my best. But apparently, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm literally shook. Anthony Johnson was a slave brought over from Africa. Okay, so what I did know that many people don't know is that Black people were not just, or Africans were not just stolen by Europeans and shipped over to America. They were sold by other Africans. I did know that. A lot of people don't know that. So this was not news to
But black people don't want to hear that. They just want to be the innocent motherfucking victims who are standing up for their rights to their reparations. No, but most want to teach their kids white man bad.
me. But he was sold and he was brought over as an indentured servant and he was freed because he served his time. An indentured servant serves for a period of time to pay off a debt or to earn their freedom, and then they get to be free. And that was the model that was meant for the Africans in America. Hang with me because this gets crazy. He was an indentured servant himself. He earned his own freedom. He bought land and then he owned slaves. He was the first, I'm going to get there. Okay. He owned slaves, black and white slaves on his tobacco farm. Are you kidding me? He owned white people? Okay. So he
Apparently, she's kind of happy about that, which I'm sure a lot of the pieces of shit in this sector are too. But while you're sitting there celebrating, yeah, yeah, Black Lives Matter, that means in America we were both slaves at the same time. Records show there were more white slaves than black slaves in America. But you fucks think you're the only ones who deserve something? You don't deserve shit. You didn't go through slavery. Your ancestors did. Your ancestors deserve that money, not you. Oh, what about our generational wealth? How many black people today have generational wealth? Oh, that's because the white man held that down. Wrong. Wrong. Black people hold themselves down. Cause and it's most, not all. They want to be the victim. They want to get shit for nothing. They want to get shit for doing nothing. They want to sit there and go, whitey this, whitey that, that. And if a white person says the N word, they want to kill them. How many people in this sector emphasized the word dead where I was concerned? But that's okay. No, motherfuckers, the truth is coming out more and more. None of you are the victims you think you are, and you're not owed a penny.
I don't know why that just breaks me down right there. He owns white people. This is Naisha Lorraine. She's on Instagram. Her link will be in descriptions below, gang.
he owns white people. And there's this guy named John Kasser. John Kasser earns his freedom through indentured servitude because that's the model. And Anthony's like, no, actually, you're my slave for life. I know that nobody's ever heard of this, and this is not the typical model, but you will actually not be earning your freedom, and you will be my slave for life. So he goes.
A black guy. A black guy did this. A black guy made slavery in America. Indentured servants are different than slaves. Do you pieces of shit get that? Is this getting through your thick motherfucking skulls, and is any of it getting in your dumb motherfucking brains?
Goes to court and he pleads his case and he's like, you guys get back to me with a ruling on whether or not I can keep John forever because I don't really want him to be let go. There are other reasons. There was a neighbor, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's like, he's going to be my slave for life. And the court rules in Anthony's favor and it's like, we love this for you. Keep him forever. So
They loved it for him. So a black man went to court to fight to keep slaves for life. But the trash in this sector will still blame white people. When a black person fought to own people, to own his own kind, to own white people forever. You all need to take a seat and stay in your own lanes and learn your place in the world.
Anthony Johnson is the first legal slave owner. It's the first legal acknowledgement in English America that an African could be held as a slave for life. And he was owned by a black man who owned other slaves who were both black and white. And when they were writing our history books, they were like, we don't need to talk about that. Are you joking? I
Yes, because they wanted the black people to get up and riot, which is what most of them are doing now. But the problem is the elites cannot control them. They spent all these years fucking with them. The KKK, Jim Crow, Black Lives Matter, and everything else in between and beyond and back however many years. But all most black people want to do is get the average white Joe Schmo because they're nothing but a bunch of fucking cowards. They won't go after the ones who are really in control and causing all this bullshit.
I don't know if I'm being dramatic, but this changes everything.
You're not being dramatic, and it does change everything. This is what she's talking about. The first slave owner in America was not only a black man, he went to court and demanded it because
But yet, America is against black people, always has been. Then, how the fuck was this black guy able to pay off this debt? I don't know where the debt came from, but he was able to pay it off. He was released and then went to court to make sure other people could not be released. Do you understand that? Do you even fucking care? So, all you motherfuckers and Michiaks and what's her name, Paris Millian, and all these pro black activists need to learn history. He wanted to own his slaves forever. Forever. He wanted to own people forever. Yes, white people followed along, but who did it first? Who did it first? Crickets, huh? You don't care, huh? But you want money.
One of his workers that he was trying to look out for. He was trying to hook you up, brother. You was being lazy and you did not hold your end of the bargain. In 1954, it was time for Anthony to release John Kaser, a black indentured servant. Instead, Anthony told Kaser he was extending his time. Kaser left and became employed by the free white man Robert Parker. Anthony Johnson sued Robert Parker in the Northampton court in 1954. In 1955, the court.
So the black guy went free and started to work for a white person. Work for them, getting an actual pay. And this guy went to court to get him back forever. You pieces of shit in this sector don't fucking play with me. I'm tired of all this bullshit. I'm racist. Most of you would sell out your own fucking kids, and there's proof of it all over the fucking place in this sector. Knock your shit off.
Ruled that Anthony Johnson could hold John Kaser indefinitely. The court gave judicial sanction for blacks to own a slave of their own race. Thus, Kaser became the first permanent slave, and Johnson the first slave owner. Guys, this blows my mind too. This blows my mind too. And there's a whole lot of people out there that don't want this to go forward, but it is what it is. We got some more information on this. Check this out.
19 was a man named Anthony Johnson. He was one of those original slaves that had been dropped off, and he started sponsoring indentures of people to come to America. He would sponsor them, and I'll pay your way, and you work for me 7 years, and at the time you'll be free.
So he lured people there with the promise of freedom and then snatched it away from them. But white man bad. I think most of you need to look in the mirror to see who was fucking bad.
And you'll get a piece of land just like I did. And he's doing that. And in 1653, one of the guys he indentured was a guy named John Kaser. John Kaser had come, and he was not a very good worker. As a matter of fact, Anthony Johnson said, "You are such a lazy bum. You'll have to work for me for the rest of your life to pay off what I've invested in your indenture." So he went to court in Virginia, and in 1653, he said, "Can I own this guy for the rest of his life? Because he'll never pay off. He's so lazy, he'll never pay off what I put in." The court said, "Yes, you can own him." That's the first occasion of slavery in American history. And it was when a black sued to own another black. And that didn't come out in the 1619 Project. That's where slavery begins in America.
Now, this is what blows my mind right here. So I thought that we were like, not only were we not slave owners, but I didn't think we owned anything. I didn't even think we owned the shoes on our feet, the clothes on our backs, anything. We didn't even own our own children. Other people did. That's what I thought. If you look at the history books and how they try to get it along, but check this out right here. Black slave owners by state. 43% of the slave owners in South Carolina were black. 40% of slave owners in.
But all black people will say is 43% of the slave owners were black, but yeah, 57% was white. I don't give a fuck, you fucking pieces of shit. Before all this was coming out, black people said they had no power, so they can't be racist. Well, that guy not only owned black people, but white people as well. He went to court to keep them. Now, what if that wasn't the truth? What if John Castor worked very hard and this guy just wanted to keep him? Wanted to keep his other slaves. Don't let them go free. You see, it was a black man who was oppressing people, keeping them as slaves forever. White people went to war with black people in order to set the black people free. And it was a white president, fuck you motherfuckers, who freed slaves. Keep playing your fucking games, motherfucker. All you motherfuckers. White people are waking up and don't give me this shit. Well, MAGA's giving them the right to be racist. No, MAGA's giving us our rights back to talk about this kind of shit that most of yous don't want out because you want to keep playing the victim.
Louisiana were black. 26% in Mississippi, black. 25% in Alabama, black. 20%. Come on, gang. Really? Black. So this is what blows my mind, man. The way that they try to rewrite history is killing me, man.
They were rewriting history to control the blacks. But the problem is they're now figuring out they cannot be controlled. They were promised too much shit. And now they're not really getting the shit, or rather, shit's being taken away from them, and they don't like it. So most of them are going to go bonkers. And it's the ones who believe, oh, you got the white man's education. Math is racist. Reading is racist. This is racist. That is racist. Good morning is racist. Good night is racist. This is what they've been programmed with. And it's not funny anymore. The prison system even puts light skinned, very, very light skinned blacks and Hispanics down as white people to bump up the white people's criminality. If they ever start doing it the right way, there's going to be a whole different kind of revolution.
It really is. And I'm just trying to fully understand it for myself so that when I have conversations with people, mainly my own family, I want to be able to share something that would empower us as a people. Now, it's not about saying, yes, black people were slave owners too. No, it's just
Yes, it is, especially for the assholes in this sector who believe white people did nothing but steal them from the motherland, took away their culture, took away their heritage, took away their names. Meanwhile, here in America, it was a black man who did it. The white people who were in charge, okay, it was stupid. Somebody bought a slave, brought them here to America, and the slaves had to work off their debt. That was fucking stupid because somebody chose to buy the slaves. It was their choice, but I do like the idea they got to go free. This motherfucker didn't want them to go free. How do we know that guy was lazy and wasn't working? He went when his debt was supposedly paid off. He left his black slave owner and went to work, actual work, with a white man and got a fair wage at the time. It's not the white people that are bad. History is coming out. A lot of people, especially people who are like majority of the people that are in this sector, are not going to want this coming out. It ruins their narrative.
we're always told that we were subhuman
Yep,
and that we were not even on the level of white people and that we were only slaves and only taken advantage of when
yep.
even way back when this whole thing first started. If you believe in the slave trade, which I'm just now learning, I'm learning more about it, right? Because I actually believe that we were already here as Native Americans, but it would not be in the interest of our country if we were considered to be Native, because then we wouldn't have to pay taxes, and that's not happening. But and call me ignorant all you want, I'll be that. I don't have a
It's
college
possible, but again, that's the elites. Majority of black people, especially the ones in this sector, want to get the Joe Schmoes. They want to say they're nothing but racist. They love harassing them. They take actual pleasure in this shit. Just like the very first slave owner took pleasure in what he did.
education. And when I was listening to this stuff being taught in school, I kind of glossed over it and just started to daydream about whatever I was thinking about at the time: Thundercats, He-Man, my army action figures, the really small army action figures that I used to have. It used to be a whole bunch of them. They used to be green, all posing in
Army
different
men.
poses, holding guns, and I used to get them to stand up and fight and all that other stuff. Yeah, I used to like that type of stuff. And that's kind of wild, because I grew up to despise the country and the military, but I used to play with military men all the time as a youngin. But it's great to have this information. That's why I pray that you share this video, so that it can reach outside of the people who go out of their way to click on my videos, like you wonderful people. But I want other people to see it. I want it to fall within the algorithm of those who wouldn't ordinarily click my videos, man. So would you do that for me? All right. I thank you in advance. Thank you so much, guys. I hope to see you in the next one.
But white man started everything, right? Most black people would rather live with a lie than know the truth, especially if it'll get them something for nothing. And I said most, not all.